Hello, welcome back to the Shabby Rose. I have a project here that I have taken upon myself to do, and it is a Cricut Joy. And in this Cricut Joy, we have a roller here that needs to come out. I got some of it done. So here, after I've gotten quite a bit done, I am still trying to take these rollers out. And on the sides, here by the rollers that hold this, I would say, metal dowel rod in, are some C-clips. And that's what I need to get off now. See that C-clip right there? And there's a spring, and then there is an arm that have to come off in order to let that metal dowel rod come out that have the rubber rollers on it. So here I'm taking that C-clamp off. Earlier this past week, I helped a friend with her Cricut Maker, and I helped replace the rubbers on that, and it wasn't that hard. I watched a lot of YouTube videos that are so helpful, but one YouTube channel that really helped was MXD, and they have replacement rollers on eBay. So that is the place where I got my replacement rollers for the MXD, the Cricut Joy from MXD. Blah. The Cricut Maker have different size rollers than the Cricut Joy. So you have to be sure, and they're only available on that eBay site, the Cricut Joy rollers. So you have to be aware of that. This is not the patience that you need for this project is immense. And I had edited a little bit of it out, but it was only to save time so you're not sitting here forever watching. So here I got those side pieces out, and now I'm just wiggling it out. What you have to do, and I realize this, you have to take the cutting blade out and it will be free. So here I am wiggling and wiggling, and then realized that the cutting blade is keeping the dowel rod from coming through. So I'll figure that out in a few minutes. Yeah. Come on. Come on out. And it's not, aha, see, I'm getting it. I'm realizing it. Nope, moving it doesn't matter. Yep, there you go. Got that out. Haha. And it is free. And that is the metal piece. And those rubber rollers are worn out. Here I thought I had lost that C-clamp inside the machine, but there is grease on this machine, and some of it's so sticky that the C-clamp is actually sticking to the side of the machine. And that's when I realized it, and I got grease everywhere. There it is. There's the C. Well, it's not a clamp, but it's like a C. An E-clip. That's what it is. An E-clip. Get it right. So after that, I slipped these rubbers off, and they were very easy to take off. Not hard at all. Now, when you get the new rollers on, you do have to put them in hot water for 10 to 20 seconds to soften them up so that they will slip on. And that's what you have to do. So here are the new ones, and I'll get hot water in order to slip them on. They will not go on dry like this. They have to be expanded a little bit. The difference in the diameter is just crazy. And these are a harder plastic. They really are. But here are the different tools that I used on their recommendation of what you needed. The little screwdriver came in really handy, and the needle nose pliers. Those are the two most basic tools that I used a lot on this. Phillips head screwdriver really helps. So flathead screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and needle nose pliers. So if you have like an eyeglass kit for the small screwdrivers, that works out really good. So these are the directions, and they are amazing. So here I had let them get in there, stay in the water. For the Cricut Maker, they suggested like 170 temperature. I couldn't get the water any hotter than 158 here, and a few more degrees. I was not going to stick my fingers in those water. So here I am fishing for my little pieces of plastic. And having a towel to press it in on really helped. Just trying to get that leverage to press it on. And then I realized that it had gotten cold. In the process of struggling with this, I had to reheat this one and put it back on. And then the other one that had stayed in the water the longest slipped on the easiest. So that recommendation of like 10 to 20 seconds is really helpful. Overall, this whole process wasn't hard. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm amazed at how fast these rollers will actually wear out. And there is no replacement rubbers by Cricut. You have to get them all aftermarket. And that's actually kind of disappointing because these machines are relatively expensive. There, I got it back on. There, it worked. A little bit of editing magic there. Who wants to sit around watching somebody struggle putting rollers on a dowel rod? Here I am slipping that on. That was in the water the longest and it slipped on great. That was perfect. And these are 3D printed. So if you're struggling, just keep it in the water a little bit longer and it'll go in. So here's the process of putting it all back together. You can see the difference. It is a harder plastic. But when I did end up cutting with this machine, it did it perfectly. When I got this machine over Mark Carey for about 40 bucks, and the thing that I asked the seller was, has this little Cricut machine been deactivated? Because once you deactivate a Cricut machine, it does not go back online. You can't get it. Jailbreaking it, I have not found anything, a way of doing it, and it's really not worth the hassle. Find a used one that the seller is honest and they have not deactivated it. So now I have to put those C-clips back on both sides, and there is a spring also that you have to put on the sides. So I started with this side, the right side. It seemed a little bit easier. Sometimes you feel like you need 3 hands instead of 2. Here's that little bracket piece that slips on, and the C-clip goes on right over the dowel. You can see the lip on the dowel right there, and it just clips all that in place. Then there's a spring that also goes on also. This was actually the frustrating part of it. That clip loved to just wander around and not go where it belonged. But using the screwdriver, and once it started, it pretty much clipped on. There you go, got that on, yay! And then here is the spring. And I'm sorry about the camera angle. It's hard to actually film and try and get the right angle that you can with this. I will also link MXD's video in the description box and in the comment section so you can see how he took it apart, but he didn't show how to put it back together again. So I guess this is the put it back together again video. And then that spring goes up on a bracket up above that has a little cutout on it. And so I couldn't show that very well because of my fingers being in the way. Hello, fingers in the way, move. No, I didn't listen and I didn't show it. Oh man, I'm frustrated at myself with my video techniques. So here's that same bracket. The same C-clamp has to be put in behind that plastic cog wheel right there. Yep, dropped it. Get it back on there. Don't drop it. These C-clips are needful and necessary to keep that dowel rod from moving. And it was frustrating. I have to admit the patience level has to be quite, immense. Now, keeps falling. It's such a tight area. I dare say I spent like 15 to 20 minutes trying to get this one clip on and put in place. It was not that quick. It wasn't. I edited. the pain of you having to sit here watching me struggle with that would not be fun. And you would stop and say, it's not worth it. Here's the other spring. And then I decided to put my cutter in there so I didn't lose it, because I'm good at losing things. And here is the spring, and it goes right on that arm, in that hole right there. It goes in there. Oh, fat hand's in the way. And then it goes up to this bracket with that cutout right there. And you have to like stretch it and put it up on that bracket. And then you're practically done. This is the last step before you put the housing back on. The very last step. And again, my hand is in the way, and it was not that quick. It wasn't that quick. I struggled with that. And then here comes the housing, and it pops back on. When I took the housing off, which I did not film the taking off of the housing because I was at a friend's house and I thought I had the right rollers, but when I realized that the Maker has a different diameter dowel rod than the Joy, I had my Joy all apart. Then I realized the Cricut Maker wheels, rubbers, will not fit the Joy. You have to get the Joy rollers in order to make it work. So here I am snapping the housing back on place, and you just finagle it around and you'll hear the like plastic clip into place, and it just snaps around and you place it there. I had my air conditioning on and it was so loud. It's hard to film, but it got kind of warm in my room and I needed air, so I just turned the sound off and decided to do a voiceover. So those are where the screws go in. The last 4 screws for the housing go in there, and I didn't show that part. I thought I recorded it, and I didn't. So here's the ending of it. I hope that helps. It's pretty self-explanatory. Trying to get the grease off. I do show using it, and it did work. And it connects through Bluetooth, this whole machine. So here's the power cord. Some used Joys on Mercari. They still want like $100 for the machine, and then they say power cord not included. So make sure you read the description to make sure you get a power cord, because it's hard to buy them separately to find what you need for the Cricut Joy. So just be aware of that. And then as I turned it on, there was life. There was life to this thing. It's really cool. That's what my air conditioner sounds like. And I'm sure you didn't want to hear the whole video hearing that hum in the background. As you can see, there's life, and then I'll show you my artwork that I'm going to be doing. Alright, I did a bear on this permanent vinyl paper glitter, and it is from the Dollar Tree. You can see where it has totally done that to the sides of the paper, but that shouldn't be a problem because that is not where my bear is, I don't think. So we're going to take this off. Ooh, look at this. Okay. Cut it right on. Seems like my Mercari $50 cutter is doing pretty good. Let me see here. This paper is flimsy. Look at the bear. That is so cute. Yeah, this glitter paper by the Dollar Tree, I'll have to get something better. So I will fold this back and peel off my bear. There we go. And then stick my protective sheeting back over my there. You can see where it did like have a bare outline in it, but it cut it. So these wheels by MXD are nice. So if you need any parts for your Joy, MXD from eBay, They also have a YouTube channel, and they give directions, something that Amazon did not give in other wheels that I had gotten. So there you go. I will put links down below, and it worked perfectly. Let's try this vinyl. It is by Cricut, and it is a smart vinyl, permanent. So it's hard for me to film with my only camera, which is my phone. I'll show you the end result. So here is the final thing that I made. My bear and my deer. How cool is that? Perfect for hunting season. It could go on a cup. Wouldn't that be cool, on a cup? And a bear right next to that. So this is well worth it. I got this over Maker for 40 bucks, and they said it needed these wheels. I would say the cricutjoy may be easier to work on than the Maker, although it's about the same amount of patience with both. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, especially when you can get directions on how to do it. So hopefully this encourages you that if your rubbers have worn out like mine have. Let me see the big difference in the rubbers that I received. Yeah, this is what they did look like. They were slipping and they've gotten big, and now there's no slippage and they hang on very well, and it is a harder, much harder rubber that I received from MXD. So perfect from this to that. It does get a little bit greasy, so rubbing, nothing that a little rubbing alcohol can't fix. So